I've been able to lose weight and get under 15% body fat and stay under 15% body fat while eating healthy. And so if you want to learn how you can lose weight while not destroying your health, then just keep watching until the end of this video. And the reason why I'm making this video is because most people going on a diet typically go on like the average bodybuilder type of diet when it comes to cutting and losing weight. And what that entails is going very low fat, and a lot of the foods they'll be eating will be processed, will be lab made, right? Packaged in boxes with ingredients that we don't even know like exactly what they do to our body, right? We might have some studies that show that they might have some slight negative effects, or they might show very minimal, non-significant effects, right? But if you're relying on like a few studies, or studies that have not been going on for over 10 years, and you're like willing to risk your body by ingesting those ingredients, and that's something that doesn't sit right with me. And so the reason why I don't like the average bodybuilding diet, especially when it comes to losing weight, is because first of all, it goes low fat, which does not regulate your hormones. Your hormones, a lot of them, especially testosterone, relies on cholesterol, which is just fats. Cholesterol is just fats. So if you're just gonna be eating lean chicken breast or lean fish, right, and staying just low diet so you can get more carbs for your training, then sure, it might work well for your training, but then on the long term, you're just gonna feel fatigued and you're not gonna feel energetic. Plus, fats are more filling than carbohydrates. And so if you go at least moderate fats, even high fat, you'll be so full. That's why on a carnivore diet, when you're going high protein and high fats, especially when you're eating red meat, you get very full. You get very satiated for the whole day. Whereas if you're just going high carb, you're gonna get the high insulin spike, especially if it's simple carbs you're eating, right? Like white toast or something, or just straight sugar. And then that insulin spike is gonna leave you by making you even more hungry in like a few hours. And I also don't like the fact that bodybuilders tend to, on the most part at least, tend to eat a lot of like processed low calorie snacks, right? Low calorie food. Like you see the 2-calorie pudding mix or the 10-calorie jello, right? Things like that have a lot of additives and extra ingredients that honestly I'm not willing to risk my body for, right? I'm willing just to eat food that humans have been eating for thousands and tens of thousands of years. And so just meat, dairy, plants, vegetables, foods that like you can actually see as a whole, right? Like a tomato or something, or beef or chicken or an egg, right? Stuff like that. It's very hard to like be confused about what a tomato is, right? So unless you have like a allergy to a food or you're intolerant to dairy, then for the most part it should not have any side effects to your body. Now, once you focus on eating simple whole foods, then your body will adjust, your taste buds and your taste preference will adjust to eating those whole foods and less towards the artificially sweetened taste. Because something that's sweetened by sucralose or aspartame tastes different to like an apple that just has like actual fructose, right? And your body will adjust and you'll feel more satiated because those foods are also packed with nutrients. Instead of focusing on the refined foods that, sure, they're macro friendly for your gut, and they're the very exact macros that like fit perfectly into your diet plan, but more than often they lack nutrients. And so if you don't focus on getting enough fruits, enough vegetables, and picking even your protein choices to actually have minerals and micronutrients in them and vitamins, instead of just making like half your protein come from protein powder, which sure it has digestible protein. Nothing wrong with protein, especially if you're getting it natural. I get my protein unflavored and no additives. If you look at my ingredient list, it's just whey protein. And so that way I know there's no other ingredients that can harm me. But if your majority of your daily protein intake comes from protein powder, then you're missing out on all the micronutrients, like the vitamins and the minerals that exist in natural protein choices such as beef, chicken, fish, but eggs, whatever you're getting your protein from. And so focusing on whole foods, right? Because they're natural, because they pack vitamins and minerals, and because they just make you feel more satiated in general, I think is a better way to structure your diet around. And so now, sure, you're eating whole food, but how do you know what foods to eat when you're trying to lose weight? You want to focus on getting high protein, first of all, and also packing that with high fiber as well as low calorie dense foods. And so, first of all, the biggest thing that I think of is just ignore anything with like nuts. Freaking nuts are the most calorie dense thing in the world. Sure, you might be eating healthy, eating nuts, but if you're eating a cup of nuts every single day, that's an easy 500 calories just adding. And even though you might be healthy, you're still gonna gain weight. And so there's a misconception where it's like, oh, if I'm eating healthy, then it's healthy, but like if it doesn't always equate losing weight. There's the difference between eating healthy and eating to lose weight. But we can do both. We can eat healthy and also lose weight at the same time. And so what that looks like of like eating high protein and also high fiber to like increase the time your body needs to digest those foods, as well as just making you feel fuller, right? Because it works simultaneously together. The longer that your body needs to digest the food, the longer you'll feel full and satiated. And so the way I start my meals, the way that I structure my breakfast is, first of all, I put it very late in the day, and so I focus on doing some sort of intermittent fasting because it works for me. It might not work for you. You might get really tired in the morning if you don't have breakfast. For me, I can push it towards like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and I'll have my first meal. So I'll work out fasted in the morning, I'll go to my classes at university, and then I'll just eat my meal around 2 p.m. And it's honestly just eggs and ground beef. Just because I can get my protein in for muscle synthesis, protein muscle synthesis. Yeah. And it just makes me so full. Like my body needs to work so hard to break down the proteins in eggs and ground beef, and try to get lean ground beef. I'll lean it out myself if I need to. That way it's not as calorie dense, right? Even though the fats are important, I still get a lot of fats from my diet, and so I don't necessarily feel bad about draining some of the fat in my ground beef. And I'll have that with like some steamed broccoli because it's high fiber, low calorie density, and it's just gonna keep me fuller. Just adding volume through healthy sources. Don't do it through like those 2-calorie snacks or whatever. Do it through things that are also good for you. They also have nutrients and vitamins and fiber and whatnot. And so that's gonna be my first meal. Cool. My second meal is gonna be like maybe 3 hours, 4 hours after, around 6 p.m. And it's gonna be a Greek yogurt bowl. So Greek yogurt, it's high protein. I get it 0% fat. You don't have to, but if you're trying to lower down the calories, then I'd suggest going 0% milk fat. It has probiotics, which are good for your gut and just digestion overall. And then I'll put frozen berries, like frozen blueberries. I'll put strawberries as well. I'll put a banana in there as well, and that adds carbs for replenishing my glycogen stores in my muscles, so that I don't feel fatigued the next day when I'm working out. and all the vitamins and antioxidants in the berries. It's good for my health overall. Add a bit of honey as well, just for some type of healthy sweetener, as well as just carbs. But apart from that, I'll probably just have a kiwi and a few other fruits if I'd like an apple and orange. Yeah, but very simple diet, focusing on health. I still hit, and I put a protein powder scoop, to be fair, in my yogurt bowl as well, just to get an extra 25 grams of protein. But again, my protein powder is very clean. Only one ingredient is just whey protein isolate. And with that diet, I'm eating around 1,900 calories, and I'm hitting 190 grams of protein. So I'm still hitting my protein goals even with just a scoop of protein. But then most of my protein comes from actual natural sources that also pack vitamins. They also pack vitamins and minerals, and so it's good for my body. I can convert my macronutrients better with the vitamins. A lot of my body processes rely on the vitamins and minerals in my body, and so I'm just making sure my body works the way it's supposed to. But if you stick to a similar diet like that, I'm sure you're going to see progress while still feeling healthy.